We're back in business. You stink so bad. Guys, I'm in Australia. Mental, look, that's a whole nother story. But basically, it's 2025. I've taken my work remote. We're on the road, baby. So the whole plan with this year was to focus on just building the business, and there's so many elements to that, but the main one I wanted to spend the first half of this year focusing on was just building exposure. In the world of social media, where you have to either solve a problem or sell your body, art kind of doesn't fall under either of those kind of titles. So we have to get real innovative, which is where this mission comes in. I just kind of want to do cool things. I want to do cool projects and missions that other people see and either want to contribute to, be amongst, be a part of, collaborate with, and even if no one wants to, at the end of the day, I've done something really fun that I'm glad I spent my time doing. This project, this mission is one of those things, and I have a sidekick. It ain't George. World meet Ren. Ren is one of my best mates. We've been friends for about 14 years. We met on an island off Greece called Ios, and then I shortly after moved to Australia, where I lived with him and his family for a good 5 years. Around Ren's house is actually all of my original art pieces I did long before the idol burrow was actually created, and when I thought art was this lame little hobby I had and I hid it from the world, believe it or not. So on this night we were sitting and discussing how can I gain exposure for the idol burrow whilst I'm out here in Australia. I had a marketing guru friend called Jackson over in Portugal, and I asked him the same question, and he said that his best bet with art would be any kind of reaction video. They're honest, they're raw, and they're real. So I mentioned this to Ren, and we brainstormed on how I can best encompass that whilst I'm out here in Brisbane. I'd already sent an email to Australia Zoo, given that it was so close around the corner, but despite them showing initial interest, I never heard back from them again. This is all part of the process. You have to get used to multiple no's or just getting ignored. At the end of the day, if you are determined enough to get to the end destination, sometimes you just have to change the path on how you get there. So it was on this night that Ren suggested, why not go up the Glasshouse Mountains? They're a collection of mountains that form the iconic silhouette on the east coast of Australia. Being only a 10-minute drive from Australia Zoo as well, and a 30-minute drive from where I was staying, this was a no-brainer. It is the doorstep, the back garden of Steve Irwin. So I went to go scope it out with a fresh perspective, despite having climbed this mountain close to 100 times when I lived here almost 10 years ago. I wanted to go with the perspective of an artist wanting to go viral. I've made it to Mount Ngungun. Today's just a scouting day. We're scouting for a good spot to set up shop and draw, which doesn't interfere with like foot traffic, but is a nice space where people can stop, hopefully take photos, just observe, and the idol burrow get some local exposure. This is actually, I would say, my favourite of all the mountains. Let's go. We are approaching the first bend, which I said this could be a potential option. It's a good resting spot, so it's a good opportunity to like capture foot traffic's attention. So I would just need to set up the easel so it can be like on unleveled footing, but okay, that's an option, but that wasn't even one of my options, but that is an option. How beautiful is this place? It's so prehistoric. That's what I love about it so much. And it's also so safe to be here, obviously in normal times. So you can be like alone but not feel scared. This is another option, a really good option actually. It's part of the walkway. So this is where I draw with my back to this foot traffic. Oh, that's Mount Timelapse right there. It looks like a gorilla. That's kind of what it's famous for. Further up here was actually the initial point I was talking about, but I'm starting to think this is a better spot. Let's have a quick plod up to where I was actually thinking about. Love that. 10 points for Gryffindor. This is where I was thinking, but actually, I think that's a way better shout down there. We've made it this far, we might as well go to the top now. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to draw up here. This is cool, but I'm going to be filming behind me people's reactions. So behind them will be a really beautiful landscape. So for the sake of media, I think further down's the spot. But look at this. Okay, down we go. And the only time I wish I had double A boobs. There's so many good spots here, but second one, it's the one. When you know, you know. Okay, I'm really, really happy with this. Happier than what I actually first anticipated. So this is a free marketing tactic I'm going to try and do just to gain more exposure specifically for my craft as the idle biro. And so when you're giving up your free time and your own money, and time is money as well that you're not spending on drawing, it is really important to like finesse these things. So I take it seriously. Oh, I've made it to the bottom. We've found our location and it's just started to spit with rain. Success. I'm actually so gassed. Let me explain why I'm so gassed. 1 second. I think I'm so gassed because I do put a lot of my self-worth on my productivity. Last week I just had this like blooper, this dip, and I was like, why am I like not being really positive, and why am I thinking like things aren't working out, and just being a bit like self-destructive. And I talked it out with Ren. You know, he was like, you're so used to structure and go and getting so much done and being so productive. He's like, maybe you're just lacking a bit of structure. And it did remind me that I was like, yeah, actually true. And not just that, I like structure because I like accomplishing loads of things because I do put my self-worth on it. Yes, it's arguably not the most positive thing, but as I always say, you know, I could tie my self-worth to guys, I could tie my self-worth to money, I could tie my self-worth to other people's opinions. I don't. I tie my self-worth to productivity, and I think that's actually not the worst thing ever. And so I'm getting really excited about this because it's giving me now like purpose. I want to go home on my Sunday. I want to continue editing this vlog. I'm now going to be like, okay, tomorrow I've got to find an easel. It's giving me purpose that I can then create structure with. It really isn't about like, oh, because I'm dying to do this Steve Irwin piece. It's not the piece that I'm actually dying to do. I'm just so excited to, as I've explained, have this structure, have something to look forward to, have a mission that I'm trying to accomplish, but also do things that are like a little bit uncomfortable outside of my norm as well. I never draw live. That petrifies me. And it's still making me like, I can do all of this, and that's the bit I'm like choking on, but I am going to do it. But also, you know, how I've lived here before and I've never drawn up the mountains. That's a first. So there's just so many cool elements to it that in a few years' time, when I look back at this vlog, I'm like, that was a really cool mission. If nothing else comes from it, if I fail in my purpose of trying to get exposure for the idle biro, at a bare minimum, I've done something positive for my mental health, which I was lacking last week, and I've just done something really cool that makes me happy. Now for the next leg of the trip. I don't know why I'm wearing a jumper. I've just been drawing in aircon. So we need to get like a bit of plywood. Just basically have like a bit of hardwood for the paper to be drawn against. The only thing is it has to be sturdy and smooth. Smooth as thick. Ooh. Okay. So this plywood, I had it in England and it's just such a godsend when like just wanting to move around the house drawing. Bunnings, here we come. Plywood, biros, GoPro, Mozzie spray, QR codes for Instagram. I found something. This is exactly what I use at home. Side note, customer service in Australia is significantly better, and they don't even demand tip, nothing like Americans. Australia just do shit better. Sorry. Mission accomplished! I have no excuse now. I've got to bite the bullet and do it. I don't know why I'm so scared of drawing live. All the answers lie on the other side of my fear. This is my discomfort, and I don't know why I'm being such a baby about it. I would say the longest part of the whole drawing process is prepping the drawing alone. And if there are two things that take even longer, it is old people's faces and elephants, because the wrinkles on their face just literally create a map, a really intricate map, which makes such a beautiful finish. This is longer than the actual just drawing, stenciling it out. And whilst I appreciate, as a viewer, we kind of know how this story ends. Hi, George. I really wanted to give it my all, like I do with every, in inverted commas, free piece. You don't know where it's going to take you. You don't know what doors it's going to open. You don't know what eyes are going to fall on it. So you really want to treat every single piece like it's a £20,000 piece going in the Louvre or something like that. So with a bit of delusion under my belt, I wanted to create this piece as if I were going to gift it to one of the Irvins myself. Ready for an adventure? Bye, George. We are on our way. I'm like nervous just because it's like, but as soon as I start drawing and I'm like, I don't see anyone behind me, I'll be totally fine. I just think it's like, you're putting yourself out there for judgment. It's judgment for something subjective. So people can be really judgy if they wanted to. Whilst I'm very thick-skinned, the one thing that riles me up the quickest is when people are disrespectful about my art. So I think I'm less nervous about judgment. I'm more nervous about my reactions if anyone doesn't respond positively. The squidgy ones. They're like my favourite.
Yeah.
We are so near the top. I'm trying not to sweat on my artwork, but this is the last climb. After what I felt was a really successful live drawing session up Mount Ngungun, I went through the 4 hours of footage and just cut into nice interactions with the public. I wanted to make a handful of reels so that I could have them at hand for when I wanted to upload at the right time. So I made a few varying reels. One was a vlog style breakdown of the morning, another was an aesthetic shot where I overlaid inspiring text, and the other two were raw interactions. One was a combination with loads of people, and one was just with one person in particular that stood out for me. Beside the main mission at hand, I felt really confident in how the initial live drawing went. So a personal win for me was how this encouraged me to go back again, but this time on my own. I didn't tell Ren, and instead I just let him lie in whilst I slipped out to go brave the live drawing alone. I'm naturally a very confident person, but for some reason this was a hurdle for me. Going alone was something I was proud of myself for doing. Oh, I'm so tired. You can feel like your hobbies are silly or lame, you can feel scared, but you just have to carry on with the schedule whilst feeling those things. Because if it wasn't scary and you didn't feel stupid doing it, then there would be hundreds of artists up that mountain. The beautiful thing with experience is my experience of last time exceeded my expectations. I was so nervous, and the one demographic of people who made me feel so good were children. And so that should be incentive enough. I was actually working on the elephant a bit last night just because I wanted to develop it more so people walking past can better see what the animal is. It is a beautiful day and the last opportunity I have to draw up the mountain, so whilst I'm I'm a bit nervous, at the same time I won't get this opportunity again. We did it! And I did it on my own. That was cool. I'm overall really happy, so it'll be interesting to see the GoPro footage to see the reactions that I wouldn't have clocked behind my back. Overall, I am really happy, but the project is far from over. That was really quite cool. As I walked down, did bump into one guy, and he's a guitar busker up north, and I was sharing how I thought it was really scary what I was doing, and he gave a really great analogy about a trampoline. If you've got a trampoline and all around the outside are pennies, people, and you're the bouncing force in the middle, how are you going to get all those pennies to come towards you? Are you going to go to each of them individually and ask them to come to you? Or are you just going to bounce as high as you can? They will all bounce in towards you. So he said, don't be scared, because what you're doing, fortune favours bold, you're bouncing really high, doing something you really love on your own, and then all the right people will gravitate towards you, will watch, and will come your way. I thought that was really cool. So what's next? Start just churning out now reaction video content and just see what sticks. Maybe 6 hours of total footage. There's got to be something in there. Something's got to catch. And if it doesn't, we keep going until it does, because that is what this YouTube video is. This YouTube video is not about Steve-O in the portrait. It's how the whole process behind an artist trying to get a video to go viral.
So, very unexpectedly, I'd come back from a night up the coast. I checked my socials as I naturally do most mornings, and I noticed one reaction video on TikTok I posted 24 hours earlier had about 4,000 views. Now, given my videos on TikTok average about 400 views, I suspected that this was a baiting method that TikTok uses. It encourages the creator to post again to keep you on the platform and engaged. I used this opportunity and scrolled through pre-edited content that you've already seen that I made to see what felt like the best fit. This is where preparation when applying yourself to any project is so key. I don't have a marketing team or social media specialist, so resourcefully, I used ChatGPT to help me develop a more strategic approach to the posting phase. It's free and it can give such valuable information if you ask it the right questions. So besides the content itself, there are 3 main elements I think that are the most important when posting. Knowing I was making this vlog, this is the actual, I swear, screen recording of what I asked ChatGPT in the exact moment, not knowing what was about to come. First and foremost, I give ChatGPT as much information about the situation and what I want to achieve from asking it these questions. This way it has all the relevant context before it then gives me the answers that they think is the most applicable to this situation to achieve what I want to achieve. Then to summarise what I've typed above, I asked it the following. 1. Relevant hashtags to this particular post and the relevant platform. Instagram and TikTok's trending hashtags actually differ, believe it or not. 2. Peak posting time, given that my following is predominantly UK based, however I'm in Australia and the video is heavily Australian themed. 3. Ideas of hooks to captivate a viewer early on. I applied ChatGPT's tips and went with this video. You may or may not be familiar with it.
That's really good drawing.
Oh, thank you. You're the first person to see it as I've started.
Do you do YouTube?
Do you know what? I'm going to make this into a vlog for YouTube. So yeah, this is
I can subscribe to you.
Oh, I'd love that.
Look at it drawing.
Oh, that's cool. He's so sweet, your kid. Yeah. How's it looking?
Good.
Yeah?
I'll subscribe to you.
Annoyingly, my only YouTube isn't like an art YouTube, it's my normal name.
At least you have one more subscriber.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Oh, it's not bad. I've got 220 followers on YouTube.
Oh, we have one more.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Lynk.
Lynk?
Yeah.
Lynk, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're the first person who spoke to me and I was really nervous, so that was very kind. Oh, that was really kind of you. Thank you. Oh my god, it's just jumped up again. Ah! It's just hit 4,000 views really quickly. Again, I don't have a big following on TikTok at all and not much traction. So this is actually, if you equate it to the amount of followers I have in my activity and engagement, this is mega. Oh, cool. Is this the one that goes viral? I don't know, I don't think so. But what it does mean is in 800 more views, it will be the most viewed video on my very small and undiscovered TikTok page. But what's super cool is this has boosted my following a little bit. Okay, I've got to draw, but I'm not gonna lie. I might have to set an alarm so my ADHD zones in on the other task at hand, which is my business that pays my bills. So far, TikTok views do not pay my bills. Yet. Can you see that? He's 14.8,000 views. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Oh! We're doing it, George! We're doing it! Superficial validation. What officially makes a video viral? You don't do this shit just for likes, but the fact that this was the end goal was to get a video to blow up through art. It's
It's not easy, but it's not as hard to get a video, to get exposure if you're educating someone, if you're teaching someone something, whether it be like a topic in school, easy. So many people in school who need help with stuff in a more bite-sized, like edible way. People make content like that on TikTok. To sexualize something, that easily gets views and followers. But to do something which isn't solving a problem, isn't educational, isn't massively helping you with anything, it's just art, it's subjective, that is cool. That is really cool. So this is love, do 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 do. So this is love. And love is la 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 la. I want to say this is the end goal for this vlog. However, I don't think we should end here. Oh, let me call Ren. Yo.
Yeah. Hey.
Just a quick one. The video's just hit 15,000 views.
Oh, what did you get?
I opened it, checked, and I was like, holy f***, and then in the time I was doing something, 30 seconds, it jumped 500 views. It happened!
Hopefully this is the one.
I've just jumped from 500 views to 3,000 on Instagram. Let's open up TikTok before I have a freaking heart attack. $26.8 thousand views. I'm enjoying this moment. I'm very much enjoying this moment, but I also need to stay level-headed and ride the wave, not get too excited, so I kind of fumble the bag here. This could be the beginning. I saw a documentary of this artist and they interviewed his friend. The artist is like, I want to say like 60 years old, and his friend called him a 25-year overnight success. Bear in mind, I've been drawing faces for up to 15 years now. The owner of this house collected all my original stuff, which I was going to chuck. I was just experimenting. These are some of my like earlier drawings. The round circle moment that I've been drawing faces for close to, 15 years, yeah. I've been doing social media for, I want to say like 12 years. And I've been doing my art business and social media for 4 years. So this is a really cool moment. This is a very cool moment. 25-year overnight success is the whole thing of you can chip away at something for so long and then blow up within hours. This isn't the magnitude I want to blow up to, but it is a nice step in the right direction. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of myself. I don't know if you can see that. 9.4 million. We have to find Lynk. I owe that boy at a bare minimum any drawing he wants. We have to find him. I need his parents to see how unbelievably nice the public have been. And they are none the wiser right now that they've completely changed the trajectory of my company.
Oh my god!
How are you?
I'm so good. This is so surreal.
I can't even explain it. Like, when I got sent the video by my dad, who does not have Instagram, he's like, my friend sent me this. He goes, that's really Lynk, isn't it? Apparently, like, Link's like blowing up or something. I don't know what that means.
That is an understatement.
I started reading the comments. I'm like, this is going to be really good for Lynk to see that it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
Being kind, like, it's either someone's always watching or you're going to have an impact on someone and you just, like, you don't know.
You guys obviously have had a couple of days of just like, what the hell? I've had 4,
Yeah.
I've had 20 days. I calculated last night that it's been 20 days since I first met you, Lynk. And
Wow.
when I say it has been the wildest 20 days my end.